Two major pieces of news came out this week that speak to the long-term failure of LIV Golf and dooms this league. And when I say major, I really do mean major. Reports and leaks were announced of the McKinsey & Company consulting report that went into the LIV Golf plan. That plan included obtaining the membership of the top 12 players in the world in golf. That didn't happen. There are some major names that were obtained by LIV Golf. Absolutely, some splashes were made. The drip, drip, drip method of obtaining players was how they went about it this year, releasing names and announcing signings ahead of time. That was amazing in terms of drumming up publicity for the league. But part of their plan included going in and getting these top 12 players. That included Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy. Of course, they were able to get Phil Mickelson, and again, those host of other names that we all know. But these weren't the huge draws that they expected. This plan also included not stirring up the anger of the PGA Tour. Tell me how that doesn't already match up. You steal the competing tour's top 12 players, yet they just lay down and accept it. No way. The plan was flawed from the beginning. This also included obtaining sponsorships and television deals, which neither materialized along the way. So we don't know of any major sponsors that have signed up for LIV Golf, and they certainly do not have any TV deals with them leaving themselves streaming on their website, Facebook, as well as YouTube. And the difference between all these things going the right way would have meant profit of $1.4 billion by 2028. $1.4 billion. However, the plan did mention that if these goals weren't obtained, that LIV Golf stand to lose $355 million. And I think that's a conservative estimate in terms of how much they're signing each one of these players for. And when you combine that with the lack of potential profits or profits that they brought in this inaugural season, I don't think there's a lot of runway for this team. LIV Golf in this plan even talked about obtaining a high power list of names for their board of directors, one that would have included Michael Jordan and Condoleezza Rice. Please note that later signee Harold Varner III, who was with the Jordan brand, was advised by Michael Jordan, of course, head of the Jordan brand, to not join LIV Golf. And he bucked that. And of course, a lot of these members that were rumored to be part of this board of directors, when interviewed, said that LIV Golf had not even reached out to them to this day. So some of these plans and things that they talked about were poorly executed, whether that be manpower or just maybe some gravitas that they thought that they could overpower some of these obstacles that were in their way. But year one does not spell out long-term success for this league. Even this week, as Greg Norman announced all players were welcome to join their league, there's still jabs and barbs going back and forth between Rory McIlroy and himself. Tiger Woods has recently jumped in addition, saying that Greg Norman has to go. And I think the reason that people are saying this is that Greg Norman really should have never been tabbed as the CEO for this league. He's been trying to go at the PGA Tour for years and trying to compete and have a rival league that would go worldwide. This has been his vision. The finesse and likability that it requires from a CEO and someone who's the face of this league has to be a lot more high-powered than Greg Norman offers up. He's a one-dimensional figure. This league offers up wonderful financial rewards, a flexible schedule for the players, but that's not going to sway everybody. And so when it comes down to the fine details and some of the je ne sais quoi that you need to finesse and get people influenced to come over to your side, that requires a special personality, one which Greg Norman does not possess. In recent weeks, it had been rumored that Greg Norman was on the outs. Although this was denied by their managing director, the rumors still persist. All it takes is a little bit of forcing and making it uncomfortable for their rumor to still be incorrect technically. If Greg Norman resigns from his role, LIV Golf doesn't have to admit any fault here. They can move on and select a new CEO that fits and is able to grow their business. This week, the week of December 12th, there was a major shakeup on the C-suite right underneath Greg. The COO, Atul Khosla, I probably pronounced that incorrectly. I'll put it up on the screen for you to read. It is a major shakeup amongst the ranks. It really causes some questions to be raised regarding the stability, especially on that level when there's turnover. Khosla had major experience with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the championship back in 2021, the Chicago Fire of the MLS prior to that. Seeing him exit may point to major shakeups within the organization as they have not been able to achieve the goals that they set out to in the first year. Could Greg be next? Underlying all of this is that this is an investment by the Saudi Investment Fund, and they want to see a return on their investment. And so if these projections and the objectives haven't been met, it is very unlikely that they will see that 1.4 billion in profit. Tea leaves just aren't reading that way. And so this plan was based on achieving these goals by 2028. If they're already behind the 8 ball, what is the likelihood that we will see this continue to go on for the next 5 years? We are just about to turn the corner to 2023, and with very little of the plan being achieved at this point, are the Saudis going to continue pouring money into this venture if the objective is not necessarily to make money directly off of it, but maybe to clean up their reputation? Maybe they do. But if the goal, as stated in this plan, is to eventually turn a profit, it is a chance that they just pull the plug. And we're going to know a lot sooner than later if that is the case. I can't anticipate more than 1 to 2 years of continuing to push this project and it not seeing the success. If somehow we are able to see major signings occur, again, go ahead and eliminate Tiger Woods and McIlroy from that equation. Does that change the calculus on whether this is going to go forward? I think one of the major reasons that big name players stop migrating over to LIV Golf is their relationship with the official World Golf Rankings. And did they have a discussion prior to forming this league on where they thought they would land with points and getting points for their players? As a star, if I haven't won a major, how do I then get into those tournaments if I'm not a past champion and hold status in that tournament? So I think that caused some pause for players as they decided that more than likely, until that change happened, that they weren't going to make the move. Let's say next year LIV makes some adjustments to their tournament structure, which I believe that the 54-hole kind of cap is what's keeping them from achieving world ranking points. There are leagues out there that have 54-hole tournaments, but that's not the bulk of their league. That's not the majority. And then it also then determines how many points they get per tournament. So although we haven't seen any clarity on this or rumors regarding LIV expanding to 72-hole tournaments, if they decide to do this in their upcoming season, which they've announced 14 tournaments, that could maybe be the trigger that allows them to get the world ranking points that they so desperately need. And again, I believe that is the reason that you started to see the slowdown of players, near the end of the year. And yes, they were able to get a lot of these players early on, and maybe that was part of the discussion. I know these players are under NDAs to not reveal, so what if some of those early players are dissatisfied with their inability to get world ranking points at this point? Who knows? We'll see going into the next year if this is the case or not. So I'm interested how you see this. This is just from a business standpoint. I always had questions around the financial viability of LIV Golf and if it was a true business. You tell me what you think. Is LIV going to last beyond the next 2 years? Do they make it to 2028 and beyond? What has to change for this to become a viable business venture for the Saudis to keep throwing money at it? Do we see profitability on the horizon for this league, or do we see it shuttering like a lot of B leagues that have challenged the NBA, the NFL? Is this one of those where LIV tried to bring an element of entertainment that we don't necessarily care about? When you look at golf ratings, I think we all just kind of become resigned to golf on TV is exactly what golf is going to be. Golf is a game that gets a lot of its popularity from people going out on the retail space, playing golf on their own with their buddies, and not necessarily from TV itself. Is LIV Golf a fundamentally flawed concept? Only time will tell, but my eyes are on it failing. We'll catch you on the next one. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later.